I'm going to open up the Akashic Records of the Crown Vic virus. I'm going to read a prayer that was channeled to Dr. Linda Howe, who was the first person to get her doctorate in Akashic Studies from Emerson Theological University. And it's a beautiful prayer. It's called the Pathway Prayer Process. I'm going to read it and open the records of this virus and ask some questions. And we're going to see what happens. I did this once before and I got a couple different responses, and I also opened my records and asked. The records are a vibrational history of anything that really carries a vibration. So you can actually go into almost anything with the prayer. Most people use it to access the records of people for clarity around all sorts of things, relationships, health issues. Edgar Cayce did thousands of readings, but he did them in a trance state. So the idea is that just like in the Bible, it talks about the book of life. So everything your soul has ever done or experienced has been vibrationally recorded. This prayer, I can feel a vibrational shift in my body when I read it. And so that's really cool. There's a woman I know who's teaches intuition. And she said the first time she read the prayer, it takes her to a space where it would normally take 45 minutes to go to, because she was describing these different layers. So there's that sort of confirmation for me that I thought that's really awesome. The main confirmation I had is when I started doing record accessing and read this prayer, Linda had us do a test where we asked our intuition a question, and then we opened our records and asked the same question. And I got a deeper, loving, knowing response when I went in. You'll know if you're in your records because you won't get any fearful messages. It's a space where you're known and loved through all your lifetimes. So it's sort of loving, wise guidance, which is really beautiful. And I'm really appreciative to be able to use this prayer. So here we go. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, protect me from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know COVID-19 in the light of the Akashic Records, to see COVID-19 through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of COVID-19 have for it. Help me to know COVID-19, coronavirus 19 in the light of the Akashic Records, to see COVID-19 through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of COVID-19 have for them. It. Help me to know COVID-19 in the light of the Akashic Records, to see COVID-19 through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of COVID-19 have for it. The records are now open. So it's very calm right now. Kind of eerie, calm stillness. But very powerful. Very strong. Okay. Is the virus, COVID-19, coronavirus 19, is it man-made? Yes. What does that mean? We know you want to believe your teachers who have said that it came from an animal. There are different strains of it. But the one that's spreading so fast is man-made. What does man-made mean? It means there's different conditions created by us that created it. Does this mean it wasn't made in a lab? Correct. Does it have ET forces about it? Sort of, but not really. Conditions on your planet help to create it. Is that environmental conditions? It's a variety of conditions, including thought patterns. It is molecular, as we told you before. What's important for us to understand as it's related to you, the coronavirus 19? What's important for us to understand? Your fear will accelerate me. Fear is so easy to be a part of right now because it's pervasive and your media is feeding it. What else is important for us to understand about the virus? That it's not important to understand the origin of it, and the more attention you put there, the more you create fear and distraction from being in the present. What else is important for us to understand? Leadership in all countries is working very diligently to lift its people. Trust that. As you like to say, everyone is doing the best they can. Certain countries do not like to show that they're weak. In fact, most countries don't. So don't be quick to judge countries that don't like to show their weakness. You live in a society and a culture that easily attacks weakness. Remember, it is in the weak or the meek that you should put your faith. Because typically that's where true authenticity relies. And deeper strengths. What's happening on the planet right now because of you or with you? There's rampant fear and expectations of the worst, and that is adding to the problem. How can we see things differently now because of what's being shown to us? It would be really important for you to go inside, go deeper inside, and evaluate truths for yourselves. Don't evaluate them based on news media or leaders talking about their truths. You inherently are connected to the highest guidance support system that the universes have ever experienced. That is where your true test is, to know what the truth is. Is there a universal conformity that helps mitigate or keeps you from moving into our cells, like best practices? We could call it having a sense of well-being. You are powerful. You are amazing creators. And your sense of well-being is really important. It's important to acknowledge parts of you that feel well. Acknowledge them every day. It strengthens other parts of your body that may not feel as strong. Is there a universal conformity that helps mitigate or keep us from moving into ourselves? It's really not a conformity. It's about knowing your strengths individually, because you are so unique, but so powerful. So if you focus on your power and knowing your mastery, knowing the things you've spoken about, knowing that you came here, you chose to come here, knowing these things, standing in that authority place, and the ability to do that as you're wiping down handles and cleaning up children and pets, and that energy, that superior ownership of the powerful creator, soul, human that you are, that sort of ownership would mitigate, especially in a collective, on an individual basis, but as a collective. What should scientists focus on and why? Scientists should focus on things that can be done immediately, whether it's to boost your immune system, or these drugs that kind of inhibit or knock out the threat as soon as it happens. Vaccines will come, but they won't come for another year. So and those are being worked on, because currently there's a lot of support financially for the people that'll be able to do that. But what scientists really need to understand is that financially, there's actually the ability to make even more money with things that can be done to knock things out quickly. Would those things have to be still tested? And of course they have to be tested in some way, but they'll actually come faster than the vaccine. Vaccines have the potential to be problematic, and the way they work in the body So the quicker fixes that are already existing, that run the gamut from increasing your immune system up to just killing the virus in its stage before it's inhabiting the body strongly, should be the focus. Is there anything else we need to know about that? Remember, everything's going to be okay. And you have some incredible people working on all of this. And there's guidance all over your planet right now that's uplifting so many people into spaces for idea creation and collaboration, unprecedented on your planet. We want to say that one more time. Unprecedented on your planet. Is there a daily practice we can all do to mitigate you or disarm you? The things you like to advocate are very powerful. Singing out loud, filling your energy field with joy, the visualizations to strengthen your body, the presence to know when you're not in a good space and to realize you need to totally change your thought pattern and pick something else to think about. In a way, this is a grand experiment for you all, and if you all take it as an experiment, or as you heard today, a vacation, and your friends are doing spa stuff at their house and detoxing and working out, and some people are writing. There's just all sorts of things that you can do that bring goodness into your space and calmness into your space. And those are things that you can do that help you know the sense of well-being. And that sense of well-being is huge. Is there anything else that helps to disarm you? Removing the fear, removing all these sensational sort of stories out of your space. You are a great creator. And so the people that are focusing on those things are great creators. And the people that are focusing on other things that are great creators. So you have to decide every day what you want in your space and where you want your thoughts to go. So by doing that, it mitigates you. It slows us down. It slows the momentum down. I heard that. I heard that the other day. Yes, you did. What else slows you down? Daydreaming. Daydreaming of beautiful places. What else? It's true that we don't like the heat. Does that mean surfaces that are under heat, like outside, will be, like cars will be? Yes, that sort of heat, especially in where you live in Arizona, will be will kill us. What about water? No, we move in water. We're molecular, and you're not a scientist, so you don't understand what that means, but the attributes of that are a part of us. What would you like me to know today? that everything's going to be okay. Keep breathing into that level of well-being and trusting. Now, are you the virus or are you my Akashic Records? We're the virus. We don't mean to harm. We just exist, Rita. What color are you? Between like a green and blue for you, sometimes red. It depends on the speed at which we're moving. Sometimes orange, but more like a clay. You saw that when you had that visual. Would imagining a color be differently? Not really. Okay. How long have you been on the planet? For thousands of years. Did you come from animals? Sort of, but not really. Do you remember what we said when we said you didn't need to put attention there? Yes. Who or what brought you on the scene this way? We've been on the scene for a while, but there's so much momentum on your planet now for changes that people have been asking for. And astrologically, the support is there for so many changes and upheaval on your planet, changes that you haven't seen for 500 years. As you've been learning about the astrology of this year, it's about a lot of upheaval and truths coming out and lots of things. So most people want to think of truths as outside of themselves, but this 2020 vision that everyone's talking about is really being directed inward right now. So trust that practice, trust the practice of going inside, evaluating how you feel about different things, what you allow in your space, what the masters said the other night to you all about finding the middle road, the vertical road will exhibit your true mastery. If you can get there, and if you can't, it's okay too. Right now, it's a learning process to get back to remembering the powerful creators that you are, filled with loving kindness and creativity and mastery, the alchemists. All the people that chose to be on the planet this time knew this was going to happen. Is there anything else I need to know about you? Just focus on slowing our momentum. Slowing our momentum by the way that you pay attention to your thoughts, the energy that you give to media shares about stuff that's out of your control. Be very conscious of how you give your energy to those things. It doesn't mean you have to live in a shell or live in a cave. It just means when you see something, like you said, use that word interesting to kind of detach energetically from it. What else do I need to know, and what else would be good to share? Love has no boundaries. No borders, no boundaries. Let your love flow. See everything through love. That's the eyes of Source. You are the eyes of Source. See the world that way. See the planet that way. Take time to breathe and calm your mind. Connect with the earth. Allow things to bloom around you and inside you. Know how powerful you are. Know how invincible you are as you take time to do the things that you've been encouraged to do. But don't give them energy when you clean your counter and clean your hands, clean your children, clean your home. Don't give it energy in a fearful way, just a control way. Know your power. Lean into understanding your power. Your godlike way of being in the world. And give love. Just share your love. Shine your light, like you like to say. Shine your inner light. Thank you.